for our next series, and I had something unique and special and different to do for this series. But in the meantime, unfortunately, Rav David Soloveitchik has left the world. Actually, it happens to be in the Shiva, and I certainly wasn't a student of David Soloveitchik. I never spoke to him. I don't think I ever heard a shir from him. I do believe I saw him a few times, but I want to give across a sense of what we've lost. And I don't refer to Rav David so much himself, who was a tremendous gadol and tremendous marbitz Torah, Miziknei Rosh Yeshiva, who had a very successful, very important yeshiva, where I'm sure thousands attended and got the unique derech halimud from him, and all of his hadracha and insight and depth and chumash shurim and all that. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk more about the Brisker Rav, because to me personally, it's only on a personal level. But the saddest thing is that he was the last son who is still alive from the illustrious sons, Rafal, Rav Meir, I hope I'm not missing anybody, Rav Beryl, who was the Bechor, and the most famous, and Rav David. And it's really a link to the Panovich Rav, it's a link to the Brisker Rav. And I wanted to speak a little bit about the Brisker Rav. I think that would be fit in this time of sadness and loss, to as an incredible Masorah, one of the most important Masorahs in Klal Yisrael, which is sometimes misunderstood and not appreciated, not really known, to give some glimpses into that. And it's not going to be biographical. So I don't know as much about the Brisker Rav as I do about other Gedolim, and I haven't read the books, when exactly he was born and where he learned things like that. But what I do want to bring out is a few, I think, unique points which maybe could be missed sometimes in some of the biographical sketches and some of the chidushim that I've seen over years about the Brisker Rav and his hashpah and his sons. That's what I'm going to try to do for these classes. The one thing we have to know is how well received the Brisker Rav is. It's just incredible. You know, there's so many svarim which are written, and excellent svarim by Gedolim, by huge people. You could take Achi Ezer, Chaim Grozer Grodzinski was the Gadol Ador, Even Ezel, Bircha Shmuel, wonderful svarim, excellent svarim. But the Brisker Rav was so zoche that his svarim were miskabel, his Torah was miskabel, and learned to an enormous extent. Wherever the Brisker Rav spoke is going to be learned. And I remember my Rosh Yeshiva, Psika Shalevsky, one time began a Wintersman by dealing with their two Brisker Ravs in Niskei Mammon, relating to Baba Kama topics, and Rav Svi Shlita started one Zman dealing with one Brisker Rav, and he ended the Zman dealing with the other Brisker Rav. And that was so typical. Dalit Kosas, Chanukah, who doesn't learn the Brisker Rav wherever he spoke? And to have in an authoritative way and to be learned, and there's almost no savor which for those outside of the circles especially, I share this, you know, there's almost no savor besides maybe Reb Chaim, his father's savor, where Ben Torah feels, you know, this is a savor I want to learn and I want to see, and it's an amazing thing, someone whose Torah was so miskabel. In a similar way, I read once that I think Rav David Soloveitchik's wife, I'm not sure if she's with us or not, but she commented once that I used to have many conversations with my father-in-law, Brisker Rav, and if I knew today how much the tzibur wanted to hear everything he said, you know, every story about the Brisker Rav is precious, every Dvar Torah he said, I would have written them down, because I see there's such a tzimaon, such a thirst to know what he says. It's the same thing, that the same level of accepted, of being known and being accepted. So that was an amazing thing. And that was the first aspect I want to bring out about the Brisker Rav, just how accepted he was, and how authoritative he was, and how well learned he is. Adiyom Ezeh, you know, they're just sugyas and sugyas that, and same in Chumash, so many of his divrei Torah are so well known. It's a tremendous sign of the emes that he had, and that his divrei Torah is so accepted.